I am from beyond. Listen, and all you desire will be yours. Welcome to Spider-Dan and the Secret Balls. Prepare for Prattle.
Secret Ball Stories.
Welcome to Prattle World. I'm your host, the ever-amazing, ever-spectacular Spider-Dan. And in this podcast, I spotlight entertainment's best-kept secrets that a mainstream audience may find boring. And welcome to another edition of Secret Ball Stories, where I invite guests to count down a personal top 5 list in high-fidelity fashion. And we have a brand new guest with us today. A lovely, lovely lady. A lady who loves her animals. She has several in this home right now, in this room right now. And she's going to tell us about some of her favourite animals of the silver screen. It is Natalie Hitchen.
Yay! Hi!
Yeah, very subdued yay.
I know, I'm sorry. I'm not really...
It's like you're a ghost.
I don't really want to blow my own trumpet yet, though.
Blow your own trumpet. I mean, do you have a trumpet to blow?
No, but I can probably find one.
Okay, I might need to adjust the sound settings if you've got a trumpet. That's going to happen. How are you?
I'm good, thanks.
You're good?
Yeah.
You are very soon going to be a married woman, aren't you?
I am, yeah.
It's exciting.
It is very exciting. I'm more excited the fact that I get to go on holiday more than I am to get married at the
Well,
minute.
I'm going to be there as well.
Well, this is it.
In Crete, and you're getting married to a lovely former guest, and I'm sure future guests as well. Angry Andrew Knowles.
Yeah, I'm taking on that battle.
Yes. Good luck to you.
Thanks.
I mean, you've managed. I think you're winning in the long scale.
In fairness, he's mellowed out a lot.
Has he?
Yeah, he
Has
used
he really?
to be so much more angry when we first got together.
Just all that pent up frustration,
yeah,
I'm sure.
probably.
Yeah, just like,
he's kind of mellowing. He's getting there.
I mean, his opinions on Star Wars haven't kind of gone in. They're still very fiery, like the Kylo Ren's lightsaber just sparking off constantly.
In fairness, though, I feel like he's affecting me and making me more angry. Because,
oh, really?
Yeah, there was a kind of moment in Star Wars where the cinema was really quiet and something happened, and it was like, something happened and I groaned and went, oh, for fuck's sake. And then we spent 40 minutes in the car whinging about it afterwards. So as much as I'm mellowing him out, it's making me more angry.
Fair enough. I mean, it's not that, I don't think any film is particularly perfect.
No.
And, there's a lot of films I love that don't have the best bits. I quite enjoyed the last Star Wars. I quite enjoyed the one before.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But even I had issues with this newest one. So... Which is fair enough. Enough. I saw a post recently, which kind of ties into what we're going to talk about, that Chewie lives like over 100 years.
Yeah.
And that Han Solo is basically Chewie's third dog.
That goes great. That's a really good way of looking at it.
So he's, but a lot of people see it the other way, but technically, no, he's,
really cool.
He's obviously a lot wiser and more intelligent because he's been around so much longer as well. So, speaking of dogs. Are you a dog person?
Yes, I have one of the biggest dogs around this area anyway.
Odin is in the room with us. He's being very quiet right now. We don't know if he's going to remain that way.
No, he probably won't.
No, there'll probably be something will kick him off.
Yeah.
Squirrel.
Oh, not quite.
No,
really.
not yet.
Almost.
Not yet.
You've not said it in the right kind of thing.
No.
Just don't say the words "see" and "him" and
"off." Really? Oh.
All at once.
Okay.
And we should be okay.
All right. Well, I'll try not to say those words. In a previous podcast, I did set off OK Google at one point, so that was embarrassing. But I kept it in the show.
Oh, that's fine.
That's fine.
Just keep Odin's version.
So, like, as a kid, did you have dogs as well?
No, in fact, Odin is... Well, my brother got a dog when I was about 18. So I classed Chaz as my very first dog.
Uh-huh.
And he was the best dog ever. And he was a German Shepherd.
Mm-hmm.
And he was amazing. In fact, the stories that I could tell you about him. So there was one time I was walking him, and I think my sister-in-law was pregnant, and he got really overprotective. There's 2 policemen walking down, like dressed up in all the hats and like proper puffed out things. And as they were walking past, Chaz leapt at them. And they obviously, with him being a German Shepherd, shit themselves.
Yes.
And then turned around and went, "Oh, you need to stop bringing that dog out and have it under control." And I was like, I'm on my own with a dog, and you were 2 giant people walking down the street. I was like, I'm pretty sure that he's okay. He had a muzzle on all the time anyway, so there wasn't much going to happen. But yeah, he was under control. Yeah. I'm fine with dogs. But yeah, so Chaz was like my first kind of
First dog.
Yeah.
My first dog was a Rottweiler, believe it or not. So one of the one of the dogs with a bit of a bad rap.
Yeah.
And not unlike because of certain movies where they are the villain of the piece, which I'm sure we'll go into a little later. But yeah, really lovely dogs, very powerful, but they're big like softies.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Like
I'd rather be in a room with like 10 huge dogs than 10 chihuahuas.
I think smaller dogs are a lot more vicious and nasty.
Well, we have friends who work at Pets at Home and they say the exact same. Like all the big dogs come in and they're all dopey and kind of like, ooh. And then all the little ones come in and they've got small dog syndrome.
Small dog syndrome. Well, I'm gonna bring that up with one of my choices later. Yeah. We'll talk about small dog syndrome. But I've always been like I'm allergic to most animals anyway, so it's kind of like. But I do. My mum's got my sister's got a pug. No. Who's a great little dog as well. And my mum has a Boston Terrier. But that's kind of my relationship with those dogs and those type of dogs. But they've always been nice, they've been kind, they've been sweet. Yeah. You know, they've not been too much trouble. Yeah. I'd like to have a pet, but I kind of in my living situation and things, I don't think I've got enough time to give to that pet currently. Yeah. And obviously you need to, be there every night, feed it, walk them, all that sort of stuff. So I think it would be nice, but also me being allergic to them is kind of also one of the big reasons why I don't have one.
Not the best thing.
But I don't mind like visiting and stuff. Yeah, I might die if I have a dog. Is the long run of that story? Yes. So yeah, they could kill me, and not in the conventional way of biting, which again we'll get into later. Yeah, I'm sure. So that's kind of my reason.
If you want to borrow Odin, you can always take him out for a walk. Yeah.
Oh, but that'd be lovely. I don't mind that.
Like, there's lots of stories from him pulling people over. Like, he's pulled my mum over. I'm pretty sure I've got scars from when he wrapped his lead around me and gave me a massive friction burn on my leg.
Yeah. I do remember once, like, there was a few times I was like a little shitty teenager walking the Rottweiler, and it was like, I would never pick up the poo, and I was like, it's bad. I know it's bad. It's really bad. I know. Bad. I feel I'm a bad boy, but I'm going to talk about bad dogs later. But yeah, and there was another occasion as well. Someone made me pick one up, but I managed to find like a really old white one, so it wasn't like
not as fresh.
It wasn't as warm. So I managed to just pick that and went, there you go, there it is. He was like, have you got any bags on? I was like, no. He's like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
They're like, you're a scum, you are. I was like, basically. But there was another time where I was walking the dog and I wasn't paying much attention. And Max, who I was called, he basically got this tiny dog and put it entirely in his jaws. Oh my God. A whole dog. And was just like shaking him. And there was a woman, she was screaming. There was a baby screaming. The dog screaming. And I was just like, oh my God. I was in such panic. I managed to get him off the dog. Yeah. And I just ran because I was like, if we get caught, they might put him down or something. And
it's
I was
really
like,
scary.
So I was like, and I'll be like partly responsible for that happening. And I didn't want that guilt on my conscience. Yeah. I had already a lot of guilt from that event, but I didn't need any more guilt on top of that.
It's like one of them
compound
it. 40 years later and it's keeping you up at night. I did not react well in
that
situation.
No, it was not good. Keeps me up at nights. Yeah. But again, lovely dog. He's a lovely dog. He's just didn't take a liking to that small dog. In fairness,
that's kind of like, we've done that with Odin before. I mean, I will not let him off the lead anymore. Like, he's always got, he's got like a thing that's...
Has he got like a muzzle?
Yeah, he's got a muzzle, but it's more to stop him pulling because he's a 60-kilo dog and if he started, I didn't really stand a chance. So, in fact, I think it happened we were around Rivington and he pulled me down a set of stairs in Rivington.
Really?
So, yeah, I just had to let him go because I was like, I'm going to die. It's like a cliff edge with steps on it. I'm going to die. So yeah, since then he's always had like a stop pulling muzzle. But same situation, my brother had taken him out and this dog had come up to him and he had him in his mouth because that's what dogs do sometimes. Sometimes they don't like each other, just like people.
Yeah, exactly.
But we found out after that if that ever happens, which is a really random bit of advice, what you're supposed to do is lift the dog's back legs up.
Right.
And it makes them drop anything in the mouth.
Really?
Yeah, so there's
any
another
dog?
one. Yeah. So it's literally, there's either you can put a finger up its ass, not many people go
Yeah.
But yeah, if you lift the dog's back legs up, it like disorientates them, so they drop anything in the mouth.
It's like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah. So
it would have to be like a quick kind of smooth action.
Yeah. Just kind of get under and
straight away.
So
okay, that's an interesting fact. That's good to know.
It's really weird.
So yeah, if
your dog's in another dog's mouth, or if
or
your dog has the dog,
or vice versa,
mouth.
or anything in their mouth.
Yeah.
What about if they accidentally ate chocolate or something? That would be the same thing.
Not too sure. I think it's more like because
when it's in their jaws, locked
like
jaws and stuff. Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Really random bits of information.
That's good though. That's good. That's good to know. It's like a good kind of safety tip for dogs and for the dogs and for owners as well.
Because shouting drop just doesn't.
Yeah, Well, they don't listen. The dogs don't listen at the best of times, do they? So there you go. There you go. But yes, we are gonna go on to our top 5 dogs very shortly, and I'm doing something a bit differently this time. Okay. So you're doing good dogs from movies.
Yes, I am.
And I'm doing bad dogs. I'm doing bad dogs as they are. They're nasty dogs, not as in they're bad dog movies, like as in they're poor, like they're rubbish.
Like Airbud.
Yeah. Airbud, or snow dogs, all those kind of ones. Showgirls.
Show dogs.
Oh, right, sorry. I was going to say showgirls, I mean,
there might
have a few bitches in it. But that's not for me to say. But let's crack on anyway. So we've got, this has been a really popular subject. People love dogs. Let's be honest, people love them.
Dogs are babies. Odin's 6 kilos, but he is my baby.
Yeah, and he acts like one too.
He really does.
Sits on your lap and everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there's been a lot of kind of discussion. Not so much for the kind of bad dogs of cinema, because I don't think there is as many.
Yeah.
I think they're a little bit more hard to find, but I've done the research, don't worry. However, there's been a lot of comments, so I'm just going to read out, because there's so many, I want to do them before we get to the end, because there's quite a few. So let's start off with Twitter. So I am Jack's Musings, my biggest fan, one of the biggest and best followers I have, at I am Jack's Musings, has said #top dog, and has a little gif of Gromit.
Gromit is such a good dog.
Gromit is a good shout.
Hero dog as well. He saves the day in pretty much everything. Wallace is like a muppet without Gromit.
There's one I've just thought of off the top of my head that I didn't think about.
Go on.
Don't know if he has a movie though. Hong Kong Phooey.
Oh.
He's a dog.
He is a dog.
He's a dog. I don't know if that counts.
Does it?
No, you're not.
No, I'm not going with that.
Not going with that.
No.
Fair enough.
I don't think he's got a film though.
No, I don't think he's got a film.
Hong Kong Phooey the movie.
Yeah, Hong Kong Phooey movie. Hong Kong movie. No, it doesn't really. Next one is 20th Century Geek Pod at 20th Century Geek says, good dogs, Turner and Hooch, Homeward Bound, Frank and Weenie, Oliver and Company.
No, Oliver and Company.
And Marley and Me. And for bad dogs, said Cujo.
Oh.
And the Resident Evil zombie dog is kind of like a Doberman type dog.
I was going to say, no way am I watching a Resident Evil thing. Even if it had a dog in it, it was not going to happen.
What do you think of those choices? Those good ones?
Yeah, good ones are quite good. I think some of those are on my top 5.
Oh, spoilers!
I know, sorry.
Okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. And also, he's posted a little video of his own dog. So it says, "Just for you, my dog Sky." Trying to pull a blanket over herself, which is absolutely adorable. A lovely little fluffy dog there. Moving on to Nerds Chatting. That's at Nerds Chatting, another set of podcast guys. They're very good. In no particular order, good dogs again. Hooch from Turner and Hooch.
Very popular.
Doug from Up. Jerry Lee from Canines. And Marley from Marley and Me. And Beethoven from Beethoven, of course. What do you think of those?
Well, I have issues with Marley and Me because realistically, Marley's a bit of a bad dog all the way through the film.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
I've not seen it myself, so I couldn't say.
Yeah,
but...
well, I think, if as a pet owner, your dog's annoying anyway. And
I mean, Beethoven's not great. He's not a great dog,
I
is he?
don't know, he is really. It turns kind of the whole family around, brings them closer together.
Yeah, true.
But I don't know. I love Marley. Because
he's quite naughty as well. I would say he's naughty, maybe, if you're going naughty dogs.
Yeah, naughty dogs.
Yeah, but not like bad dogs. Yeah. Because mine are really, when we get to it, these are some bad dogs.
Rip your face off in your sleep, dog.
But I also asked Nerds Chatting to list their bad dogs as well, because we've not got as many bad dogs. Okay. In no order, Cujo, Alpha from The Grey. So I believe that's the Liam Neeson wolf fighting.
It's a really good
Does he punch a wolf? Does he punch wolves?
Yeah, he does punch a wolf.
Of course he does.
Trying to assert dominance.
I mean, he's got a particular set of skills, and those are punching wolves.
Yeah.
Alpha from Up. So,
Yeah,
so
true.
the opposite to Doug from Up.
Yeah.
Captain Ryan from Dog Soldiers. Now that's technically a werewolf.
Okay.
And also David Kessler from An American Werewolf in London. But he's gone, I'm aware that at least 3 of these are wolves. Know that I do not care.
Okay, that's
and I love his honesty.
Yeah.
Geeky Nerd, so that's at one Geeky Nerd. She says, I'm not much of a dog person, so I haven't seen a lot of dog movies, but I am making pancakes.
Okay.
And that makes... Oh, hello. Odin's trying to join in now. I said pancakes, and he jumped to his feet. So that's all of Twitter. But we're going to move on to Facebook very quickly. So Annette Wantling says Nanook, Vampire Killer from The Lost Boys, and Sparky from Frank and Weenie again.
Ooh,
so have you seen those?
Do you know what? I've not seen Frank and Weenie, but I've heard like the theory about the 3 films all linked together.
Ooh,
and it's
is
the
there?
same dog.
Really? What 3 films?
So you've got Nightmare Before Christmas. So they're basically saying that Zero's the same dog from Frank and Weenie, and then there must be is it a corpse bride?
Oh, there's another dog in there.
Yeah, so it
Right.
must be the Frank and Weenie dog.
All kind of Tim Burton.
Yeah,
stop
so
motion.
It's supposed to be the same dog all the way through.
Okay,
So,
interesting
yeah.
theory. Okay,
Might
that's
not be
cool.
true, but
Yeah, have you seen Lost Boys?
No, I've not.
Lost Boys, yeah, it's one of my favourite vampire films. Very over the top
Really?
and silly, and he's big. It's like a big husky, basically, in Nanook.
Husky.
So yeah, and I think I'm pretty sure he kills one of the vampires at least. I think that's why
Right.
she said vampire killer.
Love it.
Okay, moving on, and we've got Annette. Oh, Annette's still with us. She said also Barney from Gremlins, so the dog in that,
Yes.
and Benji from Benji 1974. So yeah, I've not seen Benji, so I don't know.
I don't
But
remember
it's,
seeing
yeah,
Benji.
I'm not sure, but I know there was a remake of Benji, so
Yeah.
it must have been popular enough to
do a remake.
So yes, moving on again. Queena Chapman has said Milo from The Mask.
Love Milo.
Yeah, he's a good one.
Like,
he's a good one.
he's a genuine hero at the end of that film as well.
He is. I like, and again, a bit more of a naughty dog. You
Yeah.
know, a bit of a cheeky dog.
He is, yeah. I'm pretty sure you don't get like genuinely good dogs.
No, maybe not. Like
always
humans,
a little bit, yeah.
is if we want to get into the real deep thing, you know, is there good and evil,
Well,
or are we just the choices? You
there
know,
we go.
Are we? Is it a religious thing? You know, those tenets put down.
Yeah.
Is it the law? What makes us good or bad? You know,
I think
there we go.
with dogs, it's more like what's around at the time.
Yeah. What's in front of my nose?
Yeah.
Do
Can
I want it? Yes.
Can I piss on it? Can I eat it? No.
Yes.
That's
Can I have
fine.
sex with it?
Yeah, pretty
Basically, yeah.
much. Same
Very,
with humans.
very much like humans. That's my. Every time I meet somebody new, that's how I think. I
Oh,
go,
right, great.
I go, oh, can I eat them? No.
Can I pee on them?
Can I pee on them?
Maybe.
No. Can I have sex with them? If I'm lucky. So yeah. Artiste Chandler, or Michael Chandler as he's actually known.
Okay.
He's just, putting on airs really with that. He's also another shout out for Gromit.
Love Gromit.
So the goodest boy.
He
The goodest
is.
boy. And he is. I think it's a great
He is one
great
of
shout.
the good dogs.
Andrew Ferguson has said Beethoven, Hooch, and Rex. And Rex is actually the true hero of Babe, as he overcomes his own prejudice to aid Babe and carries out a massive physical feat in the process.
This is amazing. I genuinely read this the other day, and when you read something, you're like, oh my god,
That's a
so
genius
true.
choice. Andrew, I think that is probably the best choice I've heard out of the lot.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I just think it's one you don't think of, but actually when you think of the film, you go, actually, what an amazing
and
choice.
all the way through it as well, he's like, doesn't want to be part of it. And then
Exactly, don't want to get involved.
Completely changes. Character development, very good.
Yeah,
Especially
so
for
good.
a dog.
And he also says would usually go for Crypto, as he is the goodest boy in comics.
Very true.
But oddly enough, he's not featured in any live action films that I can think of. I would have accepted animated films, but even in those, he does have kind of minor appearances.
Yeah, I don't know, like we were saying before, weren't we, about the new Titans coming out, and he's kind of got a bit more in the second season.
Oh, yes.
And I have really enjoyed watching him.
Yeah?
Even though there was a bit, and I was like, no.
Oh, no spoilers. I've not seen it. I've not seen it.
La, 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 la.
I will watch because I'm very
I never
keen.
said anything, but anytime anything bad happens to a dog, it makes me
Yeah.
sad. So.
Well, there's even websites that say, does the dog die?
Yeah.
And there's a list of films where
That's
the dogs
probably one
do
of
and
my
do not die.
most
obviously.
visited websites.
Yeah, I imagine it's quite a popular one. Dennis Whittle, so that's the owner of the Comic Den and the Oldham Comic Con founder. He says Zoltan, Hound of Dracula.
Nice.
So I watched this film on his recommendation, and it basically features a dog that was bitten by Dracula.
Nice.
Genius, and then becomes his hound basically.
Brilliant.
and then hunts the descendants of Dracula in the film. Bizarre, weird, and kind of fun kitsch kind of thing. 70s movie, but yeah. Jack Dobson says Scooby-Doo.
Well, yeah.
Scooby-Doo. Yeah. It's kind of...
He's pretty out there as a good dog, isn't he? But in the Scooby-Doo film, when Scrappy's like a bad dog...
Oh, okay.
So he basically comes up with this huge plot and he gets the gang over there and tries to kill them all, basically.
Kill them all, like monsters and transforming and
that's
stuff.
That's it, so...
Now, this isn't a comment, but this was a like. Now I'm doing this podcast to because I want to link it into the release of Call of the Wild, which is quite a famous movie and book about a dog. Yeah. It's been remade with Harrison Ford. And the dog in the film, because of obviously nowadays it's kind of like the rights of animals are a lot more kind of important. Yeah. We've got to treat them right. So this dog is now going to be a purely CGI dog. Oh. However, there is a full body scan of a real dog. So it's based on a real dog.
That's amazing.
And on Instagram, when I posted about it, the dog model for the Call of the Wild film actually liked the post.
Love it.
So this is the title on the Instagram is COTW Book. So he's the dog that plays Book. Yeah. But follow him because he's a very good boy. There's a lot of promotion for the film coming out. It's out in February. This podcast will be out in February as well to coincide with the film. But I think it's time for us to get into the nitty-gritty.
Oh my god.
Are you ready?
I don't think I am.
Not quite ready for this doggone list.
Yeah,
okay. So since you are the guest, I would like you to go first. And I would like you to list your... Now, do you have a particular order of your dogs? Or are these just dogs
I don't have a particular order, but I do have a number one.
You do, and that's your definite number one.
Yeah,
that's your favourite.
It's slightly two dogs at number
okay.
one.
I might allow this.
It's slightly cheating, but this is definitely
to be honest,
spot.
Every time I do this list, we all kind of slightly cheat. It's fine. Don't worry about it. I've got a slight cheat as well.
Oh, really?
So here we go. So it's fine. I make the rules, but I also break them at the same time.
We find loopholes and everything.
It's fine. So what is your first dog? What is your number 5?
Okay, so we're going to go with Beethoven.
Okay, Beethoven, right.
So, because he is a good dog and he does bring the family together. Mm-hmm. And he didn't bite that person.
He didn't? No, that was a lie, wasn't it?
Yeah, so I think he is a good dog. I mean, and it shows a lot, like, people who aren't dog, like the dad in the film is not a dog person to start with.
God, no.
And then by the end of it...
It reminds me of those posts, those posts online recently that have been like, the dad absolutely doesn't want the dog. Yeah. And it's like dad with the dog, and it's like they're in their arms together.
Just like
and
they're
loving each other so they love each other so much.
That's essentially where it's come from.
And that's that is Beethoven essentially. But yeah, so how do they adopt the dog? I can't really remember. I haven't seen it for a while.
He basically escapes from like a dog catcher, which you'll find in lots of American films. So,
yes.
He gets taken and then he somehow escapes from it, and he just follows one of the kids home.
Okay.
And then it's like, there's a puppy here. And no, it's our puppy. So that bit's kind of a bit sketchy.
Yeah,
but,
fair enough. It happens.
In film world, it's fine.
Happens. Yeah, fair enough. In the film logic. Yeah.
But good dog, because he actually goes picking the kids up from school. One of them, I think, is getting bullied. So he kind of has a bit of a thing.
Oh, really?
So he just kind of appears at the side of them. Yeah, and then the bully's kind of scarf.
Well, he's like, I mean, if you haven't seen the film, he's like a big, you're probably aware of it. He's a big Saint Bernard.
Yeah,
Is that Bernard? Bernard.
Saint
Bernard's dog, you know, so it's quite, it's a hefty thing.
That's it. And then I think he pushes, so he's like responsible for a lot of things happening in the film with the kids as well. Yeah. So he like looks after them, obviously, with the guy getting bullied.
Yeah.
There's another bit where I think the girl fancies like obviously one of her school pals.
Of course, yeah.
And then he kind of like comes along and he's like, "Oh, look at this dog," and then that's kind of a meet cute for them to start talking. So really, he's a very good boy.
Wow, that's a good choice. And it does get quite dark towards the end because it's like. Because he basically goes, I'm going to put the dog... The dad goes, I'm going to put the dog down.
Yeah.
Hands over the dog, and then it's like... And it's because he's bit the guy.
Yeah.
The guy pretends that he's been bitten.
He's been bitten, yeah.
I think he's in because he used to be in like a load of Disney films, the guy who plays him.
Yeah, he did.
He used to be in like a lot of early Disney films. And yeah, I think he played... I feel like he played like... I think he was like in The Shaggy Dog or something like that, I think. And he he turns into a dog. Like he's a dad who turns into a dog or something like that.
So strange though.
Yeah. He's like a lawyer tiger that turns into a dog. I can't remember. The actor's name, but yeah, he's definitely in stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's quite nice to see him play like a role that's not like a very family friendly. I mean, it's a family friendly film, obviously, but he's playing the villain.
Yeah,
he's not playing the hero in this.
Yeah.
So it's nice to see that. And what was their plan? Because like Stanley Tucci is one of the henchmen.
Yeah.
Who I love. I absolutely love Stanley Tucci. He's playing this like proper over the top henchman. Yeah. And it's Oliver Platt as well, who's also I'd quite like as well, and he plays the other kind of henchman. Yeah. It's got that 101 Dalmatians feel to it.
Yeah, definitely. Is it that they're trying to, I think with animal testing it was
they were doing animal testing, was that it?
Pretty sure there was a lot of dogs. Okay. And they were either putting them down.
I'll tell you what, I didn't watch the whole film, but I did catch it at the end the other night. It was on. Right. I caught like the last.
It's always on. That's 30 minutes. That's the good thing about Beethoven and ITV2.
ITV2, that and The Mummy Returns. Yeah, you can't every week without fail. Those two films back to back constantly. I can't tell you how many times I've seen the bloody Mummy Returns. And I had this crappy, rock CGI in it and all that sort of stuff.
It's brilliant.
Scorpion King. It's not. It's not that great. It's not that great. It's fine. It's fine.
Watchable.
It's fine. I've seen worse. But yeah, so that's no, I think that was a good choice. I think a lot of people would. I think it's one of the better known ones. I think he's, like you said, he brings the family together. Yeah, it does get quite dark because the family start calling the dad like a dog killer, like a dog man. I'm like, that's a bit full on.
Yeah, the little girl, you killed my dog.
You're a dog killer. Dog killer, and it's like Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's pretty
in
full on.
fairness, though, I feel like that would happen with any family. If your dad tried to put your dog down, I'm pretty sure everyone would turn on him. There'd be like counselling sessions that probably had to happen.
Speaking of dogs and counselling sessions, when I was a child, the first Rottweiler we had, Benson.
Right.
We had rabbits, and I had a rabbit called Bugs Bunny.
Nice.
And one day the rabbit wasn't there anymore.
Oh no.
And I can't remember what they said to me, but I kind of accepted it. But they revealed years later, it was just like, the dog ate it.
Yeah.
The dog ate the rabbit.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, it's kind of disturbing.
I love the dog, but no.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, the dog's like long dead, like years later. And I was like, oh, right, I see. Fine, I guess.
Maybe to try and not affect your relationship with the dog.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. It probably was a good thing in the long run, but it was kind of like, oh, the truth hurts so much.
Yeah, and you'd be amazed what you find in your dog's mouth. Like, there was a time when Odin brought a magpie covered in maggots to us.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was horrendous.
Ooh.
And he thought it was amazing. Just running around the garden with it. I'm going to roll in this after.
Got some gifts. This is brilliant. Okay, well, I'm going to go with my first naughty dog. Very naughty dog. Now, this one's a bit of a cheat, I'm going to say.
Okay.
So this is the Alaskan Malamute from The Thing, 1982. So this is one of me and Andy's favourite movies.
Yeah.
Of all time. And it's basically about a shape-shifting alien that can make a perfect copy of the kind of host organism. So basically it devours you or absorbs you, and then it can copy your every move, your every likeness, everything. And it's perfect. You are a perfect copy. The alien is a perfect copy of you or me. We wouldn't be able to tell the difference, but then they figure out in the film, they're in this Antarctic kind of wasteland. These Norwegian team are chasing this dog down, this kind of husky Malamute or whatever it is, and they're trying to kill it, and they're throwing grenades at it. They've got sniper rifles at it, and they're like, the American team's like, what is going on? Yeah. And they're trying to explain it. And actually, if you are Norwegian, the Norwegian dialogue spoils the entire movie.
Oh, really?
It basically says, that dog is an alien. It's a shape-shifting alien. We're trying to kill it. So when the film was shown in Norway, they were like,
we know what's going on.
Ruined it. Ruined the whole film. So the whole dialogue is all correct in Norwegian, and
Brilliant.
So it was like, so it tells you the dog's an alien, and then, but yeah, so this dog is like, this is why it's a bit of a cheat, because technically it is an alien.
Yeah.
But it's absorbed and become a perfect version of that dog. He is the dog. He is a dog, for all intents and purposes. Obviously, he's got remnants of all the different things he's absorbed throughout its life. Yeah. This alien, The Thing. I could talk about The Thing for days on end. Honestly, it's a brilliant film. But focusing on the dog. The dog is the best actor in the film.
Love it
by far.
That says a lot.
And he's like. they're all very good actors. They're very, Kurt Russell's in it.
Yeah.
A lot of good actors. But he is the best actor. So he runs in, all this, starts, kind of making friends with everybody. But then they put him in the pen with the other dogs. And this is the really telling moment, is that all the dogs are like slowly backing away from it.
Right.
And like growling and reacting like as dogs do normally.
Yeah.
But this dog is like slowly moving in step by step. And it has this stare, this kind of almost blank stare, like it's something other, that it's something that's not a dog. Not quite a dog. And there's other shots later on where it's just kind of sat there in the center of the pen. All the other dogs are like terrified. And they're actually, and then it starts kind of transforming and into all these different things and tries to absorb the dogs. It tries grabbing the dogs, all these tendrils, and pulling them in. And these dogs are like biting at the barbed wire on the fencing to get out and stuff like that. And they're terrified. But,
in fairness, I would be as well.
Yeah, and it's a good, I think it's a good 10, 15 minutes. You see the dog kind of walking around and people letting it walk around and do its own thing because they're like, it's just a dog.
It's a dog.
They don't think anything to it.
Yeah.
But that's the whole setup for the movie, and just the way the dog acts is incredible because it's you're used to like dogs like attacking or or like I'm a lovable dog, but this is something that's like really like awkward and weird and off, like something off and weird, and I really love that. And the film is a perfect film. Like it's probably probably one of my favorite, if not my favorite horror movie. It's probably one of my favorite horror movies.
Yeah.
Ever. Practical effects.
I was going to say, it's kind of like, obviously a lot of training when it comes to the actual dog in the film. But then, like, you've got the direction of it as well that kind of, like, will obviously affect that.
Yeah, the framing of it and the setting. But yeah, I think it was a very well-trained dog.
Yeah.
And it gives across that something's not quite right.
Yeah.
And that's what you need in the beginning of this film. The setup is, and I think the dog really sells that. The dog actor, I don't know what the dog actor was called, but really, really good. And I mean, it's called, the character is the thing, I guess, but it's just the performance is top notch, top rate performance. If you've seen the film, you'll know what I'm talking about.
I am not.
If you've not,
it's bad enough.
Yeah, you're like, it's got a dog in it, and then it's like you don't want to see that dog ever again. It will scar you for life. I think if you really like dogs.
I do like dogs.
Well, all the movies on my list are definitely ones you will never watch then, unless you've seen them already.
In fairness, I feel like the scariest one is probably the grey.
Yeah.
And that was quite kind of...
Yeah. I've tried to stay away from kind of wolves, because I think that could be like another list entirely, I think. So I've tried to stay away from that, and werewolves. But so that's The Thing. 1982 is The Thing for me. I recommend the film, not just off the dog performance, just as a film entire. It is amazing, brilliant. John Carpenter, Ennio Morricone score... All good shit. So go and seek that out. What is your next dog?
Oh my gosh. So this is like really hard because there's two dogs and they're both kind of cop films, but I'm going to go with Jerry Lee from Canines.
Jerry Lee from Canines, okay. Yes. One we've already had suggested.
Yes, well, this is it, because literally everyone in the good dog thing is on, there's one on my list.
Okay.
So, Jerry Lee is probably, first of all, he's a cop. And he's a really good dog. Mm-hmm. You're saying about the acting with your dog from The Thing. Yeah. But the acting at the end of K9 when he thinks that his dog died, which is heartbreaking. But then it turns out that he's actually alive and he's just faking it and he's just listening to his owner say all these nice things about him. It's really cute. So... And he is a good dog because he caught the bad guy in the end. And he took a bullet for his owner.
Wow, really?
So
not put like a vest on him or anything?
No, I think it was like, it's set in like the 80s, 90s, isn't it? Like, so it's kind of before the whole put a vest on your dog. And
I mean, I've just thought about the dogs in John Wick, the most recent John Wick. Have you seen that?
Yeah, not the recent one, but I can't watch the first one because...
Yeah, there's a pair of dogs in the third John Wick that have like bulletproof vests on and stuff, and they are like the worst kind of attack dog you know. Like Halle Berry plays like a character who's kind of like a female John Wick, and she has two attack dogs with bulletproof vests. And someone goes to shoot the dog, and then they realise that it's a bulletproof vest, and then it kills. And basically goes straight for the nether regions every time, just like and like really violently biting.
In fairness, if you're going to train a dog, that's like the easiest accessible thing that they're going to aim for.
Well, I mean, most animals go for, like, most ferocious animals will go for that because it's the most like tender area.
Of course it is.
So that's where you get, and all the blood's there and everything, all that good stuff, all that good tasty stuff. Lions and tigers, they love that shit. Yeah. So they will attack that area. I've not actually seen Canine. I've seen Turner and Hooch and a few others, but Canine is not one.
I definitely recommend Canine. Like.
Is it Jim Belushi, isn't it? Jim Belushi, yeah.
And not just as like a dog film, but as like a cop action hero film as well. It's actually quite intense and stuff.
Really?
And it's like it's very comedic as well. So, yeah,
but
definitely.
It's definitely worth a watch.
Definitely. And like the twist at the end with like where you think he's dead and then it's like, and it was brought out in the 80s. If this is a spoiler, then...
Spoilers. The 80s happened.
Yeah, well done. So, yeah. The ending's really nice as well. I mean,
is it kind of like a troubled relationship throughout the film, and then they kind of resolve at the end? Kind of thing?
It's like them trying to figure out a crime, and they're always like it's kind of like different to Turner and Hooch.
Okay,
because Turner and Hooch, they've got this kind of troubled relationship and all the rest of it, and then obviously, but then Canine is they're like a working partnership.
Okay, so it's more like a work friend.
Yeah.
And less of a family member.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so that's different. Because I've seen Turner and Hooch, and I quite like Turner and Hooch as well. Again, I haven't seen it in so long, though. I might have to give that one a watch, then.
Yes, you will.
I will.
Really
I will.
good.
I wish I could say more on it, but I just haven't seen
it's
it.
Fine.
Good.
You're gonna have to watch it, and then we can talk about it.
There we go. I'll do it. I'll do my because I've been doing my research on a whole other set of dogs, so I've not had time to do it on the other ones. My next one is we're going to go international. We're going to go very international. We're going to go outside, inside the European Union, which kind of we still are, I guess, for the moment.
Well, if this comes out in February, not in
that's true. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
There we go.
If you're still listening and we're still here after February.
If the world is not imploded,
Thanks
no one's pressed any nuclear buttons, we're still good. But yeah, we may not be part of Europe anymore, which is sad, in my opinion.
Sad.
It's what I voted for, but obviously it's not what everyone else did. So there you go.
Democracy and it's
that's it. And then I kind of have to understand and go along with it. But that's fine. That's fine.
You don't have to understand.
But no, I'm still waiting for Andy to take the reins of power and start his own dictatorship.
Oh no, I'm not being part of that.
No, no,
it's not going to happen.
You'll spearhead a rebellion.
Yeah. Yeah, he can be part of the dark side now.
So I've been trying to get a bit more into kind of French films.
Okay.
Because that's a part of the world that I've not seen enough from. Like I've watched a lot of kind of like East Asian films and American and kind of Korean, all sorts of stuff. But French film I've kind of almost not seen enough of.
Okay.
So I'm going with 1989's Baxter.
Ooh.
Now, this is one that's not widely available, and it's a bit obscure. It's definitely obscure. Basically, it's about a sociopathic dog who goes from Odin picked up when I said sociopathic. Maybe he is as well.
Yeah.
A little bit. And he goes between three owners throughout the film.
Okay.
Now it's very dark. Imagine kind of like American Psycho.
Yeah.
And there's a narration throughout.
Okay.
From the dog.
From the dog.
From the dog narrates the entire film.
Right. Okay.
So you see it from, you kind of get into his perspective.
Yeah.
And you're trying to see it from his thing. And he talks about like the smells of people, the way they make it affects him and how he feels and how he sees the world, how he views the world in like black and white.
Oh.
And he kind of does view it like not only visually in black and white, but like actually in black and white in that way. And he's looking for like a strong, decisive and, strict kind of leader, a dominant owner to tell him what to do, where to go. Cause he feels like he's a hunter, he's a killer, he's a gatherer. he was designed, genetically, bred for these reasons. But people are wanting to keep him as a house pet. And lock him indoors and stuff, and he has a problem with that. And he judges people. He looks out the window and he'll see people on the street and he'll be like, I just want to tear them apart. I want to rip them, from head to toe. The first owner he has is this kind of gentle old lady who doesn't really want him.
Yeah.
Kind of like, and eventually she like becomes this like doting woman, and she has an accident and ends up kind of becoming a bit of a recluse.
Yeah.
And she starts kind of doting on it. He hates it. He can't stand it. Drives him mad. And he's like, she's weak. She's useless. She's starting to smell. I can smell her. She doesn't bathe. She's disgusting. And it's heavily implied that he causes her demise.
Oh wow!
Won't spoil it, yeah. But it's like the way he talks about humans is really interesting. Like he talks about how they affect his instincts and the way he works and lives, and like there's a bit where he finds he meets a bitch on heat basically, and he talks about how he can't help himself, and he has to have her there and then, but he's not in control of it, and it's like an unstoppable urge, and he says, I hate her. I really, if I saw her again, I'd probably just bite her face off, rip her to pieces. And I find that really interesting that he's got these kind of, it's kind of, that's the kind of humorous element that the dog is telling the story.
It's like a really interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Though. Like, because really, they are wild animals that we've bred to kind of, and they used to be working animals. So, like, obviously, you get bulldogs that used to herd bulls and things like that.
And like golden retrievers can carry like eggs in their mouth, very gentle
like,
and stuff like that.
Literally, just turn them into these things where we'll just leave it in the house for most of the day because we're at work.
We design them to be hunting, killing machines. A lot of them, a lot of types of dogs are that. And this is he's like a pit bull terrier, basically. So, and I think the look of the dog helps a little bit because they've got these tiny eyes, these less human most dogs have
more blacker than
exactly. They're kind of, there's no pupil, and you can kind of think that maybe like when you think of like people that are a bit odd or like a serial killer or something, you think of like tiny eyes.
You can't really see behind their eyes.
And it's like his skin is like so tight that it looks like he's ready to like explode at any point with like ferocious fury.
Yeah.
He ends up, the 3 owners he goes through, the second owner, he sees them across the road. There's a young family, and he smells the woman while they're having sex. The partners are having sex, and he's saying how he wants to be near her and touch her, and the scent she gives off is intoxicating and stuff. And he can't think of anything else. And his ears, he's like, I can hear them from across the road, and I can sense all this stuff. I can hear them having sex, and the noise, and like I can feel her softness and the sound of her voice, and like it's weird and kind of creepy and kind of, it's quite fascinating. And he gets there. Eventually, the old woman dies, and he gets given over. And he's like, well, I think he runs over, and he's like, and the rest of the family say, the dog loves you. You can just keep the dog, fine. But they have a baby, and he gets jealous of the baby and the attention, and he almost causes the baby to drown.
Oh my god!
Through inaction, like he's not like viciously attacked anybody or anything.
Yeah.
For the majority of the film, like towards the end, he gets a bit more like that.
Yeah.
But he even says like I only kill through like the decisions I make. I don't kill like unnecessarily.
Yeah, so it's survival thing more than anything.
Yeah,
yeah,
and it's very Darwinian. It's like the survival of the fittest. He's and he's bred to do these things. So it's really interesting. Get to the dialogue's really well written because it really gets gets inside the head of the dog that in a way I wouldn't have thought of.
Yeah, it's really weird. It sounds really interesting.
It is quite fascinating. I'll see if I can, if you can find it, which it's unlikely, but I managed to find it through various means.
Yeah.
But if I can find it, I'll send you a link or something maybe, and you can have a
Even though
view.
He sounds like a bad dog, but
he is, but it's yeah.
I think it's more kind of like, because obviously you watch films with dogs in, and it's the ones where they have kind of like where they do voices for the dogs, or like, and it's what they're thinking. And I think it's that because we genuinely don't know what they're thinking.
No,
like
we never will. Yeah, not 100%.
I'd love to know what Odin's thinking. I mean, most of the time he's probably thinking about sausages or something like that. But like, I'd love to be able to be like, and I think that's what draws people to it. So even in like the weird kind of sociopathic way of that dog, it's intriguing to kind of find out about it and be like, oh, well,
it was very like it's not one I'd probably recommend to a lot of people because it is quite bleak as well and quite dark. The final owner he gets is a young boy who is basically the beginning of a serial killer. He becomes obsessed with Hitler and his suicide and his rise to power.
Yeah.
And he hurts himself. Like, the first thing he does, he slams his hand down on a tack. You know, he meets this girl and he's like, you know, she tries to like kiss him and he's all like odd about it. And he gets Baxter, the dog, and he starts training it to be an attack dog.
Oh, wow.
And Baxter's finally happy. He's like,
yeah,
I got this strong, dominant, disciplined leader. He's telling me what to do. And he's like, every time he whistles, I can't help myself. I must do what he says. It's almost like he's pulling a chain on me around my neck, and I have to do it. It's an impulse.
It's weird though, isn't it? Because if you think about it, obviously the way the film goes, and you say like he's with this kid that's kind of obsessed with like Hitler and that kind of stuff. But if he'd have been with talking about looking at the owners, if he'd have been with like, for example, a policeman.
Yeah. It could be a totally different thing.
Totally different dog, innit? Because he's still getting all that training and what he wants, but in a different context.
What I've noticed about looking at all these bad dog films is there really isn't bad dogs.
Yeah.
It's bad owners.
Oh yeah.
Bad owners and the training they program and, you know, condition into the dog at a young age that leads them to be, quote unquote, a bad dog, you know.
Which is exactly what happens in life, though,
yeah,
isn't it?
And it's very true to real life, and I think it's nice that that's made. They make that very clear in a lot of these kind of dog attack films or bad dog films.
That's it. I mean, you see them in films, and it's like I said, the training that goes in behind the film. All these dogs are good dogs, essentially. Yeah. Sorry to ruin your list of bad dogs, Dan. But I am doing, because realistically, with the training that they put in, they're all good dogs. They're all doing what they're told. And that's essentially it. Yeah.
That's it. But yeah, I won't ruin the ending, but there is some quite kind of dark elements and things. I think there is I feel like it was an actual dog birth in the film. I think there's a literal showing of dogs being born. I'm pretty sure. It was pretty graphic. So, it's French. They're a bit more expressive than us.
Yeah.
You know.
They get it.
They love, you know, you just wouldn't get it. But it's one of those. But, there's some proper kind of dark and disturbing imagery and subtext and subjects and genre, you know, themes throughout. But if you're looking for a very interesting and different dog movie, Baxter, 1989, that's the one for you. Give it a look and see what you think. But, you know, don't complain if it's too dark for you.
I want to watch it.
Yeah? Cool.
It's nice to see it from, like, the other point of view.
Yeah, good, the kind of perspectives. But yeah, it's a really good take on dogs. So yes, so is this your number 3?
3, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So we've done Beethoven, we've done Jerry Lee.
Jerry Lee,
the
Beethoven.
Next one, do you know what? I can't not put Hooch in it from Turner and Hooch.
Okay, nice, good shout.
Right, so I know it's like another cop film. And I'm pretty sure they were brought out around the same time, actually.
Pretty sure, yeah.
So
could be a good category for a Clone Wars, maybe. Comparison podcast.
Definitely. But me, I don't like the ending of Turner and Hooch because obviously Hooch is no more.
Spoilers.
Sorry, again, but it was the 80s.
Yeah, it was the 80s. You should have seen it by now. If you like dogs, you're not a real dog lover if you haven't seen it.
You've not watched Turner and Hooch.
Shame on you.
Because he's not there anymore. It makes me really sad. But then obviously you've got the puppies afterwards, so that's really good. But yeah, Hooch is a big slobbery mess, and I love him all the way through it. And it's that thing of like they don't really like each other to start off with, and then it kind of grows, and then obviously
and then just as they get to like each other, dead.
It's taken away from them.
Dead. To be honest, like I think like that's the one I've seen. I've not seen Canine, but I think like Jim Belushi, I don't think is quite as lovable as Tom Hanks, because Tom Hanks is the everyman, isn't he? Everyone loves. I don't think anybody on the planet can say a bad thing about Tom Hanks particularly.
Yeah, he is really good at pretty much.
He is what he is, and I think that kind of helps. Like I know he probably plays a bit of a difficult guy in this, but even still. Even when he's playing, he's still likeable. And I think Jim Belushi cannot be likeable in real life, and I think he cannot be likeable on screen as well. But I would still like to watch Canine, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, I think the type of dog is better as well. Yeah. Do you know what type of dog he is?
I'm gone. Oh, a dog de Bordeaux. There you go.
What, sorry?
A dog de Bordeaux.
Dog de Bordeaux.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what he is.
That's French.
Yeah, it is French. With the French theme today.
French themes.
In fact, I used to know someone who got, obviously, a Hooch dog, and then called it Hooch. Yeah. So when they shouted it, when they first kind of noticed the dog, and I was like, are they taking the mic? And I was like, oh no, it's real name. even all these years later, it's still obviously having an effect on others and things like that. It's really good.
Yeah, it's like I do need to watch it again. Definitely, 100%. I do. You know, I do remember have a fondness for it. I do remember having a fun. I don't remember it like plot for plot and
I'm
beat for
pretty
beat.
much saying, it's one of them where if it's same again, if it's on ITV or something like that, you kind of and it's on, you'll be like, we're going to watch it, and that's absolutely
nice one. Well, I think this is a good time to have a break, so let's grab another coffee, another tea, and we will be right back with you.